Ho ho ho, welcome back to the 12 Days of Anime. I'm your host with the most as always, and this week's subject is gonna be talking about Dragon Ball Super. Ooh, I know, this one's been a little bit of a controversial one on the channel of sorts and all that. I've had very big issues with the series, and then also as well I praised it for its great things. But the question of today's video, especially since we don't really talk about Dragon Ball Super like we used to back on the channel, and trust me, I do plan to get back into talking more about Dragon Ball Super pretty goddamn soon. But the real big question on that is, like, what we're going to be asking for the series as well, is does Dragon Ball Super deserve its hype? There are tons of videos out there, there are a ton of games and DLC and a bunch of stuff for Dragon Ball Super, especially now that they're pushing a lot of this stuff where it's like, let's have all these giant transformations coming out. You got your Super Saiyan Roses, your Zamasis forms like that, the fusions, like, you got all of this stuff that they're, like, what you can see Toei heavily pushing and all that, because clearly, like, what they want and all that is more stuff than the video games, more things to the Dragon Ball, like, Heroes card game. They want all of this stuff, and a lot of people really praise this stuff to high hell, but then again, look away at some of the like the faults and all that Dragon Ball Super does, where it actually fucks it up, or saying, wait, how does that make sense? I've seen this a lot with, like, the Universe 6 arc. A lot of people actually defend this arc. I see it in, like, popular, like, YouTubers and all that. And even though, like, I agree with some of the faults and all that, like, I mean, I think all of us can agree here, you know, Hit's the fucking best. Like, we all enjoy Hit. And especially his recent episodes as well, like, kind of interesting to find out who's really putting the assassination, like, hit on, like, on Goku itself. I did have a lot of issues with the Universe 6, although I will say with the recent episodes that have been coming out of Dragon Ball Super, with the recent one being the Goku, like, assassination stuff, and with the big setup of the Universe Survival arc, I actually did really enjoy some of these comedy episodes. Like, seeing the Arale episode actually kind of made me interested in seeing Dr. Slump a little bit. Seeing, like, you know, Yamcha, like, bite the dust again on the baseball. Like, it was funny. Like, it genuinely wasn't funny and enjoyable, and I'm glad they realized. Even with the new Yamcha, like, manga thing that came out, which all of us thought was the most nothing thing in the universe, and it's like only going to be 3 chapters, but it actually was hilarious and making kind of fun of the Dragon Ball lore. It seems like where Dragon Ball Super really hit stride for a lot of people is especially when it finally got into Crunchyroll and they started airing the episodes of Goku Black arc, and that's where, like, we had, like, you know, Vegito come in. That's where we had Trunks with the blue key. We had a bunch of these power-ups, and that right there, probably where Trunks had his transformation, was probably where now, like, a lot of the problems of the Goku Black arc had, where it was like it just started coming, like, giving out transformations out of nowhere. I was like, oh, well, that's happening right now, or like, oh no, the character just got, like, this power up just out of fucking nowhere. Like, it just never really explained a lot of things, and I'm kind of worried for sake of, like, Dragon Ball Super's future, like, if this happens in the Universe Survival arc. Like, we've got a bunch of characters from the preview showing up. We see that we've got Roshi in there, we've got 17 and 18 coming into there, like, we've got Krillin, you know, Gohan's back apparently and all that, in his old, like, in his old gi and all that. We can see, like, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and then you're wondering and all that, like, is this going to happen to the same characters just for the sake of, well, because of the fucking guys keep saying, we need more stuff for the games, guys, we need more, like, you know, please give us more for Dragon Ball, like, and that's where I'm, like, worried, where it's like, this is where it's going to go now from now on, like, where it's like, oh, don't, like, focus on an actual story, focus more on what will make us, like, you know, more toys and stuff, like, in there. Like, give me more transformations, more different colors of hair. Plus, it's going to affect the story, I feel like. But then again, like, what it does, and, like, then again, it does ride on the backbone of Dragon Ball Z, and, like, honestly, people would have forgotten about Super already if there wasn't good parts from it. I'm just saying, like, the bad parts and all that are being heavily affected, mainly just because of the company itself that it's based under, and what they actually wanted to do with the franchise. This is one of the series when I know a lot of the time, like, when I talk about stuff that are, like, just glorify things, so, like, card games and stuff like that, it's very hard to, like, not, like, look back in the back of my mind whenever I'm watching a Dragon Ball Super episode anymore. And when I see a character in a new outfit, or when I see anything brand new and all that, and, like, and there's multiple things in Dragon Ball Super, it's like, oh, that's because the game, like, that's for the video games, that's just what I wanted. And I hate having that feeling in my back where it's just like, that's just for the game, that's just the video game. And it's like, you don't actually take time building a character or try to make something. That's kind of what I felt with, like, Universe 6 and, like, all the transformations at the end when we got to Goku Black, but it still was enjoyable, though. I just wish they just spent spent more time like spending it on that. And then also as well with like talking about the like actual like animation, when it does get good, it gets really nice and enjoyable. I do like that, you know, especially in Goku Black, they fixed the music and they fixed the animation a lot. But still, again, on all that, like, you know, Dragon Ball Super is going to have that issue of just, like, there every now and then it's going to shit the bed and we're going to have some really rough animation. But then again, like, as the video was stating, all that, does Dragon Ball Super deserve its hype? I think now, especially now that the Goku Black, like, kind of arc has ended, I think now it deserves itself a little bit more of this hype, since it has 2 arcs overall that are good. But then as well, like when we had with the Universe 6 arc, we had a very mixed stuff on some of the fights, and then we still had 2 arcs of fucking recap filler. Like, now it's a little bit more even out, where it's like, yes, you now have like half of the story that is enjoyable that you can go and see, plus you've got more potential stuff that's happening right now in the future. We've got like a little mini arc going on, then we've got another big one coming up with the tournament, all the universes and all that getting together, which sounds really exciting and all that. But then again, there's that cynical part of me who's like, oh, we've got 12 universes. Do you know what that means? More characters, more gods, more angels, more like that's what they're thinking right there. So right now, I think like Bandai Namco and all these video game companies like that, I think right now making Dragon Ball games, they've hit jackpot. They think all of these characters that we can just focus on in this tournament. It sounds beautiful. Oh, we can have all of this stuff in there. Like, that's what it sounds like to me. But overall, we're going to have to wait and see and all that, like what's going to be happening in the future of Dragon Ball Super. But I do think it does deserve its hype now, if anything, and all that, especially after the end of the Trunks arc, which is like, even though that's a little bit shame that the last episode of like kind of like the whole like, you know, future Trunks saga, like Goku Black stuff and all that, was the only kind of real big standout weakest one out of like that whole arc. I still definitely think that at this point in that Dragon Ball Super does deserve its hype, but then again, it has a lot of glaring issues, and it's sad to say that I don't think some of these glaring issues are ever going to be fixed, because that's what those companies want. They want money! But that is all from me. I want to thank you much for watching. As always, remember, hit that like and that subscribe, and don't worry, at some point soon on that, we will be bringing Dragon Ball Super episodes back to the channel. But that is all from me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.